Hello, Nabi Jody. I'm Georgia Rose and I am here visiting the Wodi walking track. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Wodi people of the Darawal Nation, and I would like to pay my respects to elders both past, present and emerging. The Wodi walking track is 6.5 kilometres in length and is located near Stanmore Park in New South Wales. This walking track is a part of the Illawarra region, Illawarra from the Aboriginal words Iloria or Ilauri, meaning high place near the sea, which describes the Wodi track perfectly. Archaeological evidence indicates that Aboriginal people were present in the Illawarra for at least 20,000 years prior to the arrival of the First Fleet in 1788. The history books tell us that it was the white explorers Charles Throsby and his convict servant Joe Wild were those who discovered the Illawarra in 1815, almost 30 years after the invasion. The Wodi people are the First Nations people of the Illawarra, who spoke a variety of the Darawal language. There is no supporting evidence found online that shows a connection between the Wodi people to the track and this place on country. However, the general areas that surround the Wodi track are home to precious Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history and remnants. Assumed knowledge is that they would have used this high escarpment to look for tide and weather changes, which would indicate the correct time for fishing, smoke haze from other tribes, and for communicating clearly and looking for signs of food, water and/or danger. They would have also used the fresh water from the waterfall, the caves for shelter and protection, and the flora and fauna in this area for food and resources. Blueberry ash is a rainforest scrub that has small fruits which contain a large seed. This native species was used as a food resource to the Aboriginal communities that came across them. They are bright blue in colour, they can be eaten raw, and the best time to look for this fruit is between May and October. The banksia is a tree species that produces a coarse bottle brush blossom that come in many colours. The First Nations people's diet was often bland and sugar-yielding foods, such as the nectar from the banksia flower. The sweet beads of nectar were either sucked from the blossom or dipped into water to make a flavoursome cordial. The nectar is best collected early in the morning before it is evaporated by the sun or diminished by birds. Additionally, the blossom was also used as a brush for hair and was considered a natural conditioner with the rich nectar feeding the hair. Totems of the Wodi people include the magpie, lyrebird, pelican, satin bowerbird, the red-bellied black snake and the lace monitor. And these form the heart of their culture and how the people relate to, care for and manage the land. Just listen to their calls. How beautiful. Rainbow lorikeets were seen filling the trees. These birds symbolise the Aboriginal Dreamtime story about how the birds got their colours. The Australian magpie has one of the world's most complex bird songs. As explained above, the magpie was a totem of the Wodi people, and walking here today there were so many scavenging the ground for food and protecting their people's land. Making sure these flora and fauna species are protected and managed is vital. The Wodi walking track is managed by the New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Services. The New South Wales Government has a plan of management for all Illawarra Escarpment state conservation areas, and within this plan it respects and obeys by traditions, beliefs and ways of country. I believe this is a positive and highly commemorative action, and I believe that sourcing their knowledge is argumentatively helpful for the longevity of the local national parks and the country. There is additional signage throughout the track that states of the New South Wales Government implementing a biodiversity stewardship site, which is an agreement made under the Biodiversity Conservation Act 2016. It is important that I pay my respects when coming to all places on country as a visitor and leave everything in its place. I am delighted that I have gathered a deeper understanding of the Wodi track and its history, as well as the practices and truths of our First Nations people. I have discovered that a lot of places on country have a deeper meaning behind them and a history that a large percent of the population do not know about. Thank you, Uru, as the Darawal people would say, for watching my video. I hope that you liked it and also learned something new along the way.